So as a men's rights activist, I argue that feminist groups do not support equality and they support discrimination against men, and a feminist group from Scotland just proved my points. This is coming off the UK court case that the legal definition of a woman is biological sex, and this feminist group called For Women Scotland has a very misandristic argument, and it really just goes to show that a lot of transphobia from feminism is just misandry in disguise. Let's take a look. It's very blatant. Take a look. The court sided with Campaign Group for Women Scotland, which brought a case against the Scottish government, arguing that sex-based protections should only apply to people that are born female. Take a look again. Arguing that sex-based protections should only apply to people born female. Hang on, that's not just about trans. That's blatantly saying that sex discrimination laws, the protection from sex discrimination, should only apply to those born female. The implication is it should not apply to those born male. Period. That's all men. Trans men, cis men. It's blatantly saying we support sex discrimination under law. Going on, the Supreme Court was asked to decide on the proper interpretation of the 2010 Equality Act, which applies across Britain. And skipping down, and this is important, the Equality Act provides protection against discrimination on the basis of various characteristics, including sex and gender reassignment. So, hang on a second. If that's true, then why should the law and the protections of gender discrimination only apply to those born female? Because that's not a law espousing equality, that's the opposite. That's making one gender a superior class under law, and one gender is allowed to be discriminated against. So this feminist group and this court, which also deserves blame, just ruled that men should not be protected from laws on gender discrimination. And this is the feminist group directly campaigning for this. So don't tell me that feminism isn't about misandry. Don't tell me feminism is about equality for men. No, it's not. They just campaigned for in courts, and they just won a case that says that men should not be protected from gender discrimination laws. That is blatant and direct. And here's a ridiculous statement from the judge, Lord Hodge is his name. But we counsel against reading this judgment as a triumph of one or more groups in our society at the expense of another. It is not. Oh, but it is. You just agreed with a ruling that said that anyone born male should not be protected by sex discrimination laws. You just made anyone born male inferior under the law. They now have less protection under law. And remember, this feminist group specifically lobbied for this. They specifically lobbied that only people born female should be protected under law. I'm curious to see how many feminists protest this part of the ruling. I know there'll be protests, but will any of them protest this part?